Okay, folks, get ready for some incredible revelations again, okay? And this is biblical. You understand what I'm showing you on this channel? And before I start this video, you have to go and watch the video before this one, okay? So this is the video I'm talking about. Make sure you watch this video before you watch this. And even if you've watched the video, go and watch it again before you watch this. That way you can understand how important the connection is to what this video is about. Wait till you see this. Okay, so let's get started. So in the book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible, it says that the beast would reign for 42 months. Okay, that number 42 is very important. And before I get into the incredible information, just for the new people, these are my two predictions, okay? That Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio, and 3 or 4 days later, either on 8/7 or 8/8, he returns. When I say he returns, I mean like he either wakes up from a coma or they say he opened his eyes, whatever. He just heals from his deadly wound, okay? And the other prediction is that ELVIS somehow manifests after the spectacular event in Seattle on June 11th, okay? Because Elvis and Trump are the two-faced God. They're Janus, okay? Because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth, and Trump is the replacement twin for that identical twin. Anyway, back to the 42 months, that's talked about in Revelation. Okay, so Elvis, he died at the age of 42. And what's funny is Trump had a brother who also died at 42 years old years ago. And it just so happens that Seattle is located in Washington, right? And Washington is the 42nd state, okay? And by the way, Seattle is in King County, and Elvis was known as the king. And I told you Seattle's where the spectacular event's going to happen, where Elvis somehow manifests after this spectacular event on June 11th in Seattle. And do you think that it's a coincidence that from Elvis's birthday to June 11th, the day I'm telling you the Seattle event is going to happen is either 154 days or 155 days, depending if you add the day. Up to the day of June 11th, it's 154 days. If you add that day, it's 155. And the percentage, look at the percentage, 42.19%, because the devil is in the details. Notice it's the 42 numbers, okay, in the percentage of how many, days within 1 year. 154 days out of the year is 42.19%, okay, of the year. And I told you that the words, the Antichrist equals 154, okay? Anyway, the whole point I was trying to make was that the 42 is connected to how long the beast in Revelation is supposed to reign, okay? So the 42 is very important. Now let's move on. I told you, folks, this is all biblical. Get ready, okay? So there's a Bible verse in the book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible. Look what it says. It says, "Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, including those who pierced him." Okay, of course, they're talking about Jesus, our Lord and Savior, right? And before I show you the Bible verse, its number, let me just show you this first. So pay attention. In the last video that I did, I was explaining to you the devil in the details. Every time I say the devil in the details, I'm talking about the percentage. Now, Elvis and his identical twin were born January 8th, right? So if you go from the first of the year to January 8th, if you don't count that day on the calculator, it's 7 days up to January 8th. But if you count that day also, it's 8 days. Okay, and by the way, Jesse was born first, Elvis was born second, okay? Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that you can count 7 days or 8 days, okay? So it's the 7 or 8 days up to January 8th, 7, 8, okay? And of course, January is the first month, so it's 1, 7, or 8. And check out in the book of Revelation, the first chapter, the 1, and then 7 and 8, verse 7 and 8. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. And then what is the next verse is, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. You see? Now, you understand what I'm saying here? Because I'm telling you that Elvis is going to be, somehow manifest and be seen by the world. Okay? And what is the chances that it's 1, 7, and 8, the day that the twins were born in Revelation? Because this is what I'm showing you. I'm showing you the beasts of Revelation. There's 2 beasts, Elvis and Trump. And that's why I was showing you the 7 and the 8 on the day that the twins were born. Okay? Anyway, let me just show you another connection to this. Because you understand that Elvis' identical twin that died at birth, right? So Elvis is connected to his twin because they shared, the same DNA, right? His identical twin. They share the exact DNA. So how about this Bible verse? And notice the other one was Revelation 1, 7 and 8. This is Revelation 17, 8 through 11. You got the 1, 7, 8 again, it starts with. And what is this? The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Okay? When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Okay, I'm going to explain what that is in a moment. Let's just read the rest. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And then right here it ends. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. Okay? Before I talk about this, did you know that the 7 heads are on 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth? You know that that Seattle, it sits on 7 hills or something like that. Okay, so that's another connection to that, and I know other places that do that too with the 7 hills, but so does Seattle. And about, by the way, when they say in the book of life from the foundation of the world, they're talking about Jesus, the book of the Lamb, you understand? Who was slain from the foundation of the world. If you're not written in it, it's over for you. Anyway, the point is that they're going to wonder over the beast, okay? Whose names are not written in the Lamb's book of life. Anyway, and notice that it says, and the beast that was, because Elvis was, you understand? But they all think he's still alive and is not, even he is the 8th. What my point is that because people think Elvis still lives, he was, but yet he's not here, but he still is. Does that make sense what I'm saying? His name is still alive. Even, right now, they're still doing Elvis movies. And that's why the anagram for Elvis is lives. Okay? Even though he's not, he still is. And he was. Do you get it? That Bible verse is talking about this beast right here. And that's why the Levi's is also an anagram for Elvis, right? And that's why the Levi's logo is an upside down crown. You see, it's got the crown under, but it's upside down, the crown. Or it could be water, like waves, because Elvis equals water in Gematria. Okay? And it also equals reset, because Elvis is the reset. Okay? Once the June 11th event happens. Okay, if you turn this upside, it looks like water, like a wave. But it's upside down crown. Okay, folks, the video is just going to get better, so pay attention. I told you that the identical twins were born on January 8th, right? And it can be either 7 days or 8 days if you go from the first of the year to the day they were born. And these are the percentages, the devil in the details. But right now, I want you to just focus on the 2.19%. And I'll get back to what the total is in a minute for both those equations. But 2.19. You remember in the last video I explained from the day that the twins were born to the year 2019 on their birthday was 84 years. Okay? And I told you Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4 and then come back 4 days later. Okay? And it would be 8/8 the date. Okay? So it's the same idea here. And I told you that that June 11th is the Seattle event, and August 4th that same year, this year, is the Trump head wound. Okay, so it would be exactly this if you went from their birthday to 2019, because I just told you the 219 is connected to the 8th day when they were born, the 2.19%. That's why it's so important. 2019, it's 84 years that's how old Elvis and his identical twin would have been. And then 4 years later, it'd be 88. That's why Trump is going to get his head wound on 8/4, come back 4 days later, it's 8/8, okay? Anyway, but it's also the June 11th event for the Seattle event also. Anyway, like I said, the 219 is super important. But real quick, I want to show you this 411, how incredible it is. So the total for these two equations is 4.11. And notice it's January 8th, 411. So I want you to ask yourself, what is the chance that January 8th, the only other date that equals the same as January 8th in Gematria, is April 11th? You see that? It's the same numbers. Exact same numbers. Okay? And by the way, Elvis's dad, Vernon Presley, he was born on April 10th, one day before April 11th. But because he was born on a leap year, his dad, April 10th falls on April 11th's actual day. So technically, his dad is born on April 11th, Elvis's dad, even though the date is actually 410. But anyway, January 8th, the day the twins were born, it equals 411. The same numbers. And here's another incredible connection that no other date can do. I told you that from the first of the year to January 8th, including that day, it would be 8 days. That percentage is 2.19%. I told you how important the 219 is. The first prime number equals 2. The 8th prime number equals 19. It's Elvis's birthday, 1/8, okay? And it's 2.19% for that. And look, it's 219. It's the only date that does this. Okay, you see how incredible this is? And on the 8th day, Elvis was born. Do you get it? It's complete mockery. Anyway, notice this, that the 8 equals 19, 819. Do you know that Bill Clinton, who's the 42nd president, he was born on 8/19/1946, and that year that George Bush was born, the president, number 43, Bush Jr., he was born at 46, and so was Donald Trump. He was born that year. But anyway, we're talking about Bill Clinton, the 42nd president. He's born on 8/19, because I told you the 8th prime number equals 19. From Elvis's birthday, the exact day the twins were born, to the date Clinton was born, 8/19/1946, is 4,242 days. Look at that, 42. And he was the 42nd president. From Elvis's birthday to his birthday is 42. Washington's a 42nd state. Elvis died at the age of 42. You ask yourself, how is that possible? Okay? Please, folks, use your brains. And if you don't believe me, I can show you on the calculator. Okay, I just don't waste time showing every equation. But there it is right there. January 8th, the day Elvis was born, him and the identical twin, to August 19th, the day that Bill Clinton was born in 1946, is 4,242 days, the 4242. And Bill Clinton's the 42nd president. You see what I'm saying? You can't have these kind of coincidences. Washington, 42nd state, Elvis dies 42 years old. I mean, come on. Anyway, like I said, it's all about the 219, okay? Even the prime numbers of Elvis's birthday, 1/8 equaled 219. And on the 8th day, it would be 2.19%. That 219 is super important. And listen, the other number is the same also, is 19.2. It's the same thing, but backwards, 219. And like I showed you, from Elvis's birthday, the day the identical twins were born, to the 2019, the 219 number, they would have turned 84 years old. The 84, that's the day Trump gets his head wound, right? But here's what's incredible. Why did Elvis have to die in 1977? He had to die in 1977 at the age of 42. That way, 42 years later, in 2019, do you get it? The year that Elvis turned 84, he had to be dead for 42 years also. So it's 42 years in between 77 and 2019, and he died at the age of 42. Do you get it? So 42 equals 84 also. That's why he had to die at the age of 42 in 77. And that's why Trump, he has to get his head wound on 8/4, okay? And then come back 4 days later, and it would be 8/8, the date. And that's why from Elvis's birthday to 2019 was 84 years. And then from 2019 to this year, when both my prediction happens, the Seattle 6/11 event and the August 4th Trump in Ohio event, it's 4 years later, and it would be 8/8, 8/4, then 4 days later, 8/8, or 4 years, whatever way you want to see it. Pay close attention. Look up here. And that's why, do you think it's a coincidence that from Elvis's birthday, the day the identical twins were born, to the day the Twin Towers fell is 66 years. By the way, the word twin equals 66. Just add up the letters. You'll see it equals 66. 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. There's your 8/4, and then the 66 for the twin. And the Twin Towers fell that day. And that equation right here, look at that. It also equals 8,004 months and 4 days. There's your 8/4, and then 4 days later, you see, would be 8/8. 8/4 again up here. You see what I'm saying? So there's 8 months, 4 days in between Elvis's birthday and 9/11. Anyway, so from Elvis's birthday to June 11th, the day I'm telling you Elvis manifests after this spectacular event in Seattle, because the 9/11 is the 6/11 is the upside down 9/11. I told you it's either 154 or 155 days. Look at the percentage total for the devil in the details. 84.66, 66.84. Do you see how impossible these coincidences are? 6684, 8466. And why is this so important, the 154, 155, between Elvis's birthday and June 11th? Because first of all, I told you the words the Antichrist equals 154. And the reason that 154 and 155 has to be together, because these are the only two numbers, when written together into the Gematria calculator, which does this. Watch. It does this. So if you wrote the words 154 and 155, which I just showed you what that was, it equals 450 on the top, which is the most important number, then 216, which is the reduced number, and then the total is 666. It's the only two numbers when combined throughout the year. If you did it the way I do the time and date calculator, it would equal 666. No other date can do that. Now, do you understand? Okay, and I told you Elvis has been dead for 45 years, and Trump is the 45th president, okay? And the 0 is a crown. I told you, anytime you see the O, it's a crown. So it's 45 with a crown equals 666. I wonder what would happen if we entered Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name, with this, because this is the June 11th date. You understand? What I'm saying is this is the June 11th date. From Elvis's birthday to June 11th was 154, 155. So that's why I'm saying let's add Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name, to the 154, 155. Let's see what we get. Wouldn't you know it? Adding Elvis Aaron Presley to the 154 and 155 equals 666. Do you understand how incredible this puzzle is? Okay? I've shown all this before, but people just aren't getting it. He is the Antichrist, and Trump is the Antichrist in the flesh, okay? Elvis is the real one. He's the unseen, okay? And do you think it's a coincidence that I told you on the 8th day, from the first of the year to the 8th day, is 2.19%, the devil in the details? What is the chance that from 9/11, the day the Twin Towers fell, to the day the 6/11 Seattle event is going to happen, is 21 years, 9 months exactly. 219, 219. You see? And I told you the 6/11 is the upside down 9/11. And the words upside down equals the word Washington. Okay, Washington equals upside down in Gematria. All right? Because that's where the Seattle, is in the state of Washington. So now pay close attention. I told you it just gets more incredible as we go from Elvis's birthday to June 11th. I told you it was 154 or 155 days if you include that day, and that these are the devil in the details percentage. The total was 84.66. Now, if you go from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, that was to 6/11. The other one. This is from Elvis's birthday to 9/11. It's 246 days or 247 days if you include the day. These are the devil in the details percentages. This is the total. 84.66 for this one was the total. And this total is for 9/11 was 135.07. I wonder what would happen if we add this total and this total together. What? You gotta be kidding. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? So if you add the 9/11, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, the devil in the details, the total. And then from January 8th to 6/11, the Seattle event from Elvis's birthday, that was the total in the devil in the details percentage. Look at that, 219.73. It's a 219 connection. But the 73, what is so important about the 73? Because I told you the letters 7-3 looks like the letters EL. Okay, just like 3-7, same thing. It has to do with EL. EL in Hebrew means God in Hebrew. And the word perfect equals 73. And I could show you a bunch of other connections. But this is enough for right now. Anyway, let me just recap what I just showed on that last equation, just in case you forgot. So the totals for the Elvis's birthday to June 11th, in the devil in the details percentage was 84.66. From Elvis's birthday to 9/11 now, this is the devil in the details percentage, was 135.07. You add those two totals up, you get 219.73. The EL 219, God 219, which is the 8th day. You understand? Which goes back to the 219, what I was trying to tell you, because Jesse was born first, Elvis was born second, which is the 219. That's what I mean by EL 219, 219 EL 21973, what I just showed. Whoa, wait a minute. I just thought of something. What if we add the 411 to that 21973? I wonder what would happen. Oh, wow. You gotta be kidding. Would you look at this? It's 2023, 223, and it ends at 84. Are you seeing what I'm showing you? Because remember, from Elvis's birthday, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Watch this. Remember that I told you from the day the twins were born, to the year 2019, because the 219 connection, because the 8th day of the year was the 2.19%, it was 84 years, and then 4 days later becomes 88. So 2019, 4 years later, was the 223. Are you getting it? 219, 4 years later, get it? 4.11%, the devil in the detail, and it lands on 2023, 84. 22384. I mean, can you believe what I'm showing you? And I told you Trump gets his head wound on 84. I mean, you just cannot make this up, folks. This is incredible. Okay, folks, that information alone, everything I just showed you is beyond incredible. And I told you it's all from the Holy Spirit. If you don't believe it, you will believe it when it happens. I guarantee it. And look at this. I don't even have to show this, but I'm just going to show it anyway. If you were to put the word 7th and 8th, because that's when they were, that equation that I was showing you from the first of the year to January 8th is either 7 or 8 days. So the 7th or 8th, it equals 150, 69, 219. There's that 219 again connected to, because I told you that on the 8th day, it was 2.19%. And it's interesting because I told you the 15th letter of the alphabet is the O. The O is the crown. So it's 15O. The O is the crown. And then you have the 69, which is another crown. Because the 6 plus 9 is 15. You get it? It's a crown. Anyway, I could show you much more connecting what this is about, but I'm not going to. That's 219 is what's important for the word 7th and 8th. I wonder if we put 2 crowns, because look, here's a crown, and I told you the 6 and 9 is a crown. 6 plus 9 is 15 also. I wonder if I put 2 crowns on here, what happens? Ah, you gotta be kidding. So I put a crown on 7th, put a crown on 8th. Look at this. 1-8, because that's when Elvis was born. Elvis and the identical twins. 1-8 with a crown, and then backwards 8-1. You see what I'm saying? It's the backwards numbers of 1-8. Same thing. 1-8, the crown, and then 81. I mean, this is just incredible. You see what I'm saying? And look, it's the backwards number. 162 is the June 11th date. The 162nd day of the year is the 162nd. I mean, the 162nd day of the year is June 11th, and the 216th day of the year is August 4th. It's the same numbers. And look, you even have a 405 up here. I told you, Trump is the 45th president, and Elvis has been dead 45 years. And if you've been paying close attention, I told you how important the Antichrist number is, the 154, the total for the Antichrist equals 154. Elvis, his age, the year the Twin Towers fell, was 66 years. The day that Seattle spectacular event's going to happen is this year. Elvis is 88. Look, it equals 154, the number of the Antichrist, which I explained to you from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is either 154 or 155 days, and the Antichrist equals 154. Even the prime numbers for the year 2023, 20th prime number is 71, 23rd prime number is 83, it equals 154. And this is the first year since 1626 that you can get 154. Okay? No other number can be, no other Antichrist date. I mean, year date for the 2023. The last one was 1626. That equals 154 also in prime numbers. I'm almost done, folks. And isn't it interesting that I told you Trump gets his head wound on August 4th and comes back either on 8-7 or 8-8? And wouldn't you know it, that 8-7, the date, is the 219th day of the year, okay? That's if you add the day, it would be the 219th day of the year. Now, if you go on the calculator from the first of the year to August 8th, because I told you Trump is going to get his head wound on August 4th, come back on 8-8. All right. So if you go up to 8-8, it's either 219 if you don't add the day, but it's actually the 220th day of the year. Okay. So I'm just saying that it connects to the 219, that August 8th, the day Trump returns after he gets his head wound on August 4th. And by the way, August 4th is also Obama's birthday. I've talked to you about that many times. That's why he came before Trump. Okay, he has to connect. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But look, 220 days in a leap year is 60.11%. This equation is only in a leap year. And what's funny is Elvis died in the year 77, and I told you that he's going to manifest on 6/11 this year, 2023. But it's just interesting that that 8/8 is actually the 220th day of the year, but on a leap year only you get this equation. Only in a leap year. Okay, folks, this is going to be the last information I show. And believe me, folks, I have a lot more, but I'm going to end it with this. So remember, I told you the year that the Elvis and Jesse were born, and I told you Jesse died at birth, supposedly. Anyway, so Trump is the replacement twin, right? Anyway, so from the first of the year to the day the twins were born, the devil in the details percentage is 4.11%. Okay, if you do the total of the two, 4.11%. Real quick, so you remember this equation that I showed earlier from Elvis's birthday, the day he was born, to 9/11, the day the Twin Towers fell. And remember, the twin died at birth, right? So it's from Elvis, the twin's date of birth, to the day the Twin Towers fell was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days, right? 8/4/66. And I told you that if you go from Elvis's birthday to June 11th, the equations for the devil in the details percentage is 8/4/66, the total. Okay, so it connects even to 9/11, and this connects to 6/11 from Elvis's birthday. You understand? So I wonder what would happen if we added the day that the twins were born. So let's add this 4.11 to that 884.66. I mean, would you look at this? From Elvis's birthday to June 11th, I told you the devil in the details percentage was 84.66. Then you add the day that the twins were born, the total, the devil in the details percentage was 4.11. It adds up to 88.77. So 8/4, Trump gets his head wound. 4 days later, he comes back on 8/8. There it is right in front of your eyes. 88.77, right? And it just so happens this year, 2023, Elvis turns 88 and Trump will be 77 on June 14th. Okay? Are you looking at this? 88.77. That's that percentage I just showed you, 88.77%. And look, it equals 165, the total. And Donald Trump is born on 6/14, the 165th day of the year. Okay? Are you getting it, folks? Okay, folks, I'm going to repeat it again. You see this? Revelation 13:18. I am the guy from Revelation 13:18. Okay, do you understand? Here is wisdom. Let him, I am this him. Do you get it? That hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which means 666. You may not believe it now, but you will. Don't get my predictions mixed up. Here it is. End of video.